Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From July 4th through August 26th, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a set of all 4 Commander 2019 decks. Also, there is another way to enter where no purchase is necessary. See the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and Gen Con has officially begun, so guess what that means? We got some Commander 2019 previews to take a look at today. We get to look at each of the 4 front-facing foil commanders. You'll see all of them today. Also, a notable reprint, as you can see by the title card there, and a few more cards as well. Just a quick reminder, if you're looking to pre-order the Commander 2019 deck still, check out FlipsideGaming.com. If you use the Heroes promo code, you can pick up all 4 decks for $126 and free shipping. And whenever you use that promo code, it also supports the channel, which is always appreciated. With that out of the way, let's get into it. All right, so here they are, your 4 Commander decks for 2019. There's 3 that are 3 colors and 1 that is 2 colors. Each one focuses on a specific mechanic. Now, you might know what those mechanics are because that information was leaked a couple weeks ago, but in case you don't, here we go. Faceless Menace, that is going to be a Morph deck. Mystic Intelligence, that is going to be a Flashback deck. Primal Genesis is going to be a Populate deck, and Merciless Rage is going to be a Madness deck. Let's start digging in with some of these preview cards that we got today. We'll begin with Faceless Menace. That is the Morph deck, and here is your front-facing foil commander in that deck, Cadena Slinking Sorcerer. This is very sweet for a Morph deck. This is a great enabler for this type of mechanic. Also, I should mention, they did say that it's not just Morph in here. You're going to find Megamorph, you're also going to find Manifest. So it's kind of like that whole family of Morph mechanics here. Now, the reason I like this card so much is it does cost 4, so I'll tie in 1 for a 3/3. But the first face down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. So you get to play a Morph creature for free, which frees up your mana to actually flip your Morph creatures. That's one of the problems with playing Morph. It costs 3 mana for a 2/2, and then you need that mana to actually have them be more than a 2/2. If you don't have a way to enable that, especially early on, you could fall behind. This helps you, plus it helps you dig deeper into your deck at the same time. So let's say turn 3, even if I get no way to accelerate mana, I play a Morph creature. Turn 4, I play this and I throw another Morph creature into play. I have 7/7 power toughness on the battlefield on turn 4. That feels pretty good, actually. And from that point forward, I can put a Morph creature into play for free each turn, draw an extra card. It really is an engine for this type of deck to get out of the gate and continue to be strong as the game goes on. And if there's a board sweep, this is a nice way to recover for a deck that's going to be pretty creature-centric. Here's another card from that deck, Cadena Silencer. This is pretty sweet. It's a Megamorph for a blue and 1. It will flip over, and when it does, counters all abilities your opponents control. So kind of like a Stifle, but it could hit multiple abilities potentially. Even if it doesn't, I mean, you're going to find something to do with this in a game of Commander. But this could be fun if a couple opponents start activating a whole bunch of things and put different abilities on the stack. Flip this over, you could really hose a couple people maybe. Seems like a lot of fun. Seedborn Muse, here's the reprint I was talking about at the top of the show. This is fantastic. Before I talk about this card itself, just let me remind you, cards from these decks are not going to be modern or standard legal if they're new cards. But of course the reprints will be legal wherever they were legal before. Now, this is technically modern legal, but it's not a card that sees a lot of modern play or anything. It does see a ton of Commander play, though. It's fantastic in that format. Because of that, this traditionally has not been a cheap card. Whether you want the copy from Legions, 9th edition, 10th edition, Battle Bond, they're going to run you anywhere between $10 and $12 typically. So financially, this is an awesome inclusion. Also, this makes a ton of sense in the Morph deck because you want your mana open as much as possible to at least be able to threaten that you can turn over your things and do something crazy. That will keep people off your back, and a lot of times, they might not attack you if you have your mana open and you have a bunch of face-down creatures. This also lets you attack with your creatures, and then on the next opponent's untap step, you get to untap them for defense. So this is going to be key to that strategy. Alright, time for some Mystic Intelligence. This is the Flashback deck, and here is your front-facing foil commander, Savina the Chronoclasm. Jeskai colors in 2 for a 2/2 legendary human wizard. That feels a little weak, but you get to prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. So yeah, there's other ways to get rid of it, obviously, but that helps considering you're paying 5 for a 2/2. Now, whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Note that that doesn't just work on your turn for those instants, it will work the first time on each turn. So this is a great way to really enhance flashback and just make it easier to go off. And I think that's the key to this particular deck. Early on, it's going to be probably very instant and sorcery centric, and your defenses might be down a tad bit. There's going to be some control elements to kind of keep you alive, I'm sure. But I think the whole idea behind this deck is to stay alive in those early turns, maybe even take a little damage here or there. But then later in the game, when you have a full graveyard, you can just go off and maybe wipe out more than one opponent at a time. That's kind of how they describe this deck in the panel. So let's see another card from it. This is Savina's Reclamation. Now this is kind of sweet because first off, it's versatile. Return target permanent card with convert a mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That could include a land, it could be a small creature, whatever, right? Permanents that are small are going to come back with this, kind of like a Sun Titan ability, for example. But what's cool here is this is a good way to stay alive early on, especially in conjunction with Savina. You can take a few things back from your graveyard, put them back into play. Maybe they're small creatures you're just using as blockers or what have you. You're trying to protect yourself in the early turns so that you can survive into the late turns and go off. This is going to help you do that. Okay, here is the front-facing foil commander for Primal Genesis, the Populate deck. This is Garrod Conclave Exile. I kind of like the flavor here. It's like a Selesnya creature that got a little emotional and now it's red too. So this is Naya colors and 2 for a 2/5. But when it enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green rhino creature token with trample. And also whenever this attacks Populate, the token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. That's pretty nice. That's a good way to quickly kind of recover from a board sweep or just get your deck going, especially early on. They also said on the panel that this deck would focus on larger tokens like 3/3 and higher. So sounds like they're trying to go with big, and a 4/4 green trample rhino is pretty big. Also, one thing I wanted to point out, there's a lot of cards in Commander that work well with Helm of the Host. Well, here's another one because you can create copies of this that are non-legendary tokens. That could be interesting, right? So overall, I think Populate's a great choice for a deck like this, and I'm excited to see how they work right into it. Real quick, here's the Rhino token that you'll be getting, 4/4 trample. Here's another card from that deck, Garrod's Belligerence. This is pretty sweet later in the game when you have a lot of mana. 2 red and X, sorcery, you get to divide damage among any of the creatures that are out there on the battlefield. That includes yours too, notice. And then any creatures on the battlefield that were damaged this turn by this that die, whether it was from this or from something else after they already took this damage, you get to populate. That could be a huge swing under the right circumstances, maybe even set up a win. This is your foil front-facing commander for that final deck. Merciless Rage, the Madness deck, and this is Anjay Falconwrath. Easier to cast than some of the other ones. Red, black, and 1 legendary creature vampire, that's worth noting, 1/3 with haste. And immediately, because it has haste, you can use the tap ability to discard a card and draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, if it has Madness, you get to untap this. It can maybe chain a little bit. You might be able to do this a few times in a given turn, which is kind of sweet. Now, this actually makes a lot of sense in a Madness deck, which is an aggressive mechanic, which typically could run out of gas pretty quick, you would think. So having something like this allows you to continue to play cards at the Madness cost. They come out cheaper, you get better economy, but you can also go through your deck as you do it and see more cards, which could be critical. Especially early on, if you're playing against, say, the token deck, for example, you're going to need to stay alive, and I think this might be able to help you do that. Also, there might be a vampire theme here, too. The next card we're going to look at is a vampire as well, so I kind of wonder if something like Falconwrath Gorger could be good here. Don't know if they'll reprint it, or maybe it will be a good upgrade, but that would give all vampires Madness. That could get kind of crazy, right? So we'll have to kind of see where the deck goes as we see more previews, but that's something to think about. Let's move on to that next card. Here's the other vampire. This one's a Vampire Berserker, Anjay's Ravager. Red and 2, 3/3, but a Madness cost of a red and 1. A lot of economy there. It does have to attack each combat if able, but really it should be attacking because whenever it does, discard your hand and then draw 3 cards. So this is awesome because if I have Madness cards in my hand, this can enable me to discard them and get value that way. If I need to draw new cards, this will help me with that too. Because remember, whenever this attacks, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. If you have no cards in your hand, you're still drawing 3 cards. That could be phenomenal under the right circumstances. This is perfect in this deck. Very, very strong card here. I would actually consider this for Legacy. Don't know if it could get there. Not sure if it's going to be fast or efficient enough, but if you could consistently Madness this, that could be kind of awesome. That's a big leap and does require some testing, but it's at least something to consider. All right, that does it for the cards, but a couple other tidbits of information from the panel. They did say that there's going to be a Planeswalker reprinted in each one of the 4 decks, so that was kind of interesting. Also, the art we've been looking at is from a card from one of the 4 decks. We don't know what card and we don't know what deck, and that is Gerard Capuchin. So I'm looking forward to see what they actually do with this character. I assume it's going to be a creature card in one of the decks, but definitely one of my favorite characters from the Weatherlight crew, so glad to see he's coming back in some capacity here. All right, that does it for today. Now, tomorrow there are going to be some more previews in the afternoon, so I will do a recap video. Saturday is our Market Watch video, so there are some previews Saturday afternoon too, but I probably won't cover those until Sunday. And then I'm going to do something a little different next week. They are going to reveal all of the cards that are remaining from each of the 4 decks. Monday they're going to do one deck, Tuesday another, Wednesday another, and Thursday another. That's almost 100 cards a day. I'm not going to be able to keep up with that daily. So instead, what I'm going to do is a video on Tuesday covering the deck that they revealed on Monday, and then so on and so forth. So we will cover everything Tuesday through Friday, and you'll get a complete view of all the cards that are in all these products. But until then, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.